10 Reasons Why God is Still Delaying You, drawing from the teachings of Dr. Myles Munroe. Introduction. Have you ever wondered why, despite all your prayers, efforts, and dedication, you are still waiting for God's promises to manifest? Why does He seem to delay even when you've been faithful? The truth is, God's timing is perfect, but understanding His delays can be challenging, emotionally draining, and faith-shaking. Dr. Myles Munroe, a renowned pastor, teacher, and motivator, once said, "God's delays are not His denials, but often they are divine strategies for your ultimate good." This statement echoes a profound truth that we must embrace: God's delays have a purpose. It's easy to feel forgotten or frustrated, yet in the midst of waiting, God is working, shaping, molding, and preparing us for something far greater than we can imagine. The delay is not a reflection of God's inability or unwillingness, but of His infinite wisdom and love. When God seems to delay, it's often because He is building a foundation within us that can sustain the very thing we're asking for. Setting the stage. In Scripture, waiting on God is a common theme, and often, the delay is a vital part of the process. Look at the lives of great biblical figures: Abraham, Joseph, David. Each faced a season of waiting. Abraham waited 25 years for Isaac, the promised child. Joseph endured over a decade of hardship before his dream was fulfilled. David was anointed as king, yet had to wait many years, enduring persecution, before he ascended the throne. What do these stories teach us? Delay is part of God's divine plan. The emotional struggle. Let's be honest, waiting is not easy. The emotional toll can be immense. You might feel like you're in a desert season, dry, weary, and questioning your faith. You might even begin to ask, "God, have you forgotten me? Why are others moving ahead while I remain stuck?" But as Dr. Myles Munroe often emphasized, God's silence and delay are a test of your trust. Will you trust Him when the answers are not immediate? Will you keep believing when the road seems endless? Patience is not the ability to wait, but how you act while you're waiting, Munroe once said. It's in this waiting that God develops your character, strengthens your faith, and prepares you for the blessings ahead. The spiritual revelation. Biblically speaking, delay often signifies preparation. God is more interested in who you are becoming than in simply giving you what you ask for. His goal is to make you more like Christ, and sometimes that requires seasons of refining and pruning. Hebrews 12 verse 11 reminds us, "No discipline seems pleasant at the time, but painful. Later on, however, it produces a harvest of righteousness and peace for those who have been trained by it." When God delays, He is training you for the harvest of righteousness. He is refining your faith, enlarging your capacity, and preparing you to steward the blessings He has in store. Are you willing to wait for the fullness of what He has prepared for you? A deeper perspective on delay. To understand why God delays, we must shift our perspective. Dr. Munroe often spoke about purpose. Everything in life, including God's timing, revolves around purpose. God doesn't just give us what we ask for, He aligns it with His divine purpose for our lives. Psalm 37 verse 7 tells us to rest in the Lord, and wait patiently for Him. Waiting isn't just about sitting idly by, it's about trusting that God is aligning everything in perfect timing according to His purpose. So, the question isn't just, why is God delaying, but what is God doing in this delay? Let's dive deep into the 10 reasons why God may still be delaying in your life. 10 reasons why God is still delaying you. God is protecting you from something you cannot see. Sometimes God delays because there are dangers ahead that you are unaware of. Just like a loving parent who won't let a child run into the street, God's delay is often His protection. Proverbs 16 verse 9 says, "In their hearts humans plan their course, but the Lord establishes their steps." God may be shielding you from something harmful that could derail your destiny. Bible question: have you ever considered that God's delay might be keeping you safe from a trap or danger you can't see? Answer: God sees the bigger picture. Trust in His protective hand even when you don't understand why things aren't moving. God is building your faith and endurance. Delays test our faith. James 1 verses 3 to 4 tells us that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything. Waiting builds spiritual muscles. It's during the delay that we learn to trust God more deeply, to pray more fervently, and to lean on Him more fully. Bible question: how strong is your faith when God delays? Are you growing, or are you letting doubt creep in? Answer: trust the process. God is using the delay to strengthen your faith, which will be vital for sustaining the blessings He has prepared. God is preparing the right time and circumstance. Ecclesiastes 3 verse 1 reminds us, there is a time for everything, and a season for every activity under the heavens. God's timing is perfect. He is orchestrating the right circumstances, aligning the right people, and creating the right opportunity. The delay is because the appointed time has not yet come. Bible question: are you willing to trust God's timing, even when it feels like nothing is happening? Answer: God is not slow in keeping His promises, 2 Peter 3 verse 9. His timing is flawless, and your blessing will come at the right moment. God is shaping your character. Character is built in the fire of delay. Romans 5 verses 3 to 4 tells us that suffering produces perseverance, perseverance, character, and character, hope. Before God can elevate you, He wants to ensure that your character can sustain the weight of the blessing. The delay is His way of refining you, removing impurities, and shaping you into the person who can handle His purpose. Bible question: how is God refining your character during this season of waiting? Answer: every delay is a chance for God to mold you. Embrace the process and let Him prepare you for the next level. God is aligning everything according to His will. Delay often happens because God is aligning your desires with His will. 1 John 5 verses 14 to 15 tells us, this is the confidence we have in approaching God, that if we ask anything according to His will, He hears us. Sometimes, what we desire isn't aligned with God's perfect plan. The delay allows time for our hearts and minds to come into agreement with God's purpose for our lives. Bible question: are your desires aligned with God's will, or are you asking for things outside of His plan? Answer: God's delay often brings us back into alignment with His perfect will, where true peace and fulfillment are found. God is preparing you to handle the blessing. Sometimes we ask for things we're not ready to handle. God, in His mercy, delays the blessing until we are equipped